Men, I need you to lean in closely for a moment. What I'm about to tell you, it's going to shake everything you thought you knew about us. You think women are simple. You think we want safety. You think we crave romance, soft love, candlelight dinners and sweet, comforting words. That's what we're told we want, isn't it? That's what we present to the world. But the truth, it's darker, it's messier. And it's the raw, undeniable part of us that men almost never see. I'm a woman. I've felt it. And once you truly understand it, once you grasp these forbidden truths, you will make us wet. You heard me. Wet. Because these aren't the things we brag about with our girlfriends. These are the things we hide. The deep, primal triggers that leave us feeling guilty, restless, obsessed, and utterly addicted to the man who knows how to use them. You see, we're taught to desire security, stability. But deep down, there's a wilder, more chaotic current running through us. A current that responds to something far more ancient and powerful than just a pretty flower or a sweet compliment. And let me tell you, there are 11 secrets. 11 profound shifts in your understanding of female desire that will transform everything. We're going to walk through them, one by one. And believe me, some of these, they're going to make you uncomfortable. They're going to challenge your preconceived notions. But they're true. I've felt the unsettling pull of every single one of them. The way my body betrayed my mind. The way my heart pounded against my will. The sheer, undeniable force of these hidden desires. Let me give you a glimpse of just how deep this goes. Number 3, for example. That's the one we carry the most shame for, because it rips away every ounce of our control. It leaves us trembling, and yet we still can't resist it. It's infuriating, it's humiliating, and it's utterly, powerfully addictive. But number one, that's the deepest, darkest confession of all. The one that, no matter how far we've run, no matter how many times we've sworn we were done, it makes us crawl back. Every single. Before I walk you through all 11 of these truths, secrets that women will deny with their dying breath, but cannot escape, take a second right now. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because this isn't just a casual video. This is an awakening. And tell me in the comments below, where are you watching from? I want to see how far this message reaches, because female desire, it speaks the same primal language no matter where you live. Are you ready? Good, now. Let's begin. All right, gentlemen, let's pull back the curtain on these truths. These are the raw, unedited facets of female desire that we often won't or can't articulate. But they live within us, and they drive us. Starting with the secret number 11, the ache of being ignored. Here's a truth men almost never realize. And it might sound contradictory to everything you've been told. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can make a woman wetter than being ignored. Think about it. When you don't text back immediately. When you see us, but you don't give us the expected reaction, the eager validation we were hunting for. When you make us wait in silence, wondering it's torture. And that torture, that deep, unsettling silence, it turns into desire. I've felt it myself. Sitting there, my phone clutched in my hand, my mind racing through every possible scenario. Did he see it? Is he busy? Is he ignoring me on purpose? My body restless, an unfamiliar heat starting to build. Every minute you didn't reply, every beat of silence, it made me want you more. I hated it. I swore I wouldn't care. I tried to convince myself I was above it. But the insistent, undeniable ache between my legs, it said otherwise. Most men, bless their hearts, they flood us with attention. Until that attention, that constant availability, means nothing. It just becomes background noise. But the man who withholds it, the man who makes us work for it, wonder about it, even beg for it in the quiet chambers of our own minds, he owns our thoughts, he owns our mental space, and then he owns our body. We'll never admit it out loud. We'll complain. We'll act annoyed. But being ignored just enough makes us intensely wet. Because your attention, in its scarcity, becomes rare. And rare, gentlemen, rare is simply irresistible. And if that's how we react to a little silence, wait until you see what happens when another woman enters the picture. Secret number 20, the heat of jealousy. I need to confess something ugly right now. Something we really don't want you to know. Nothing drives a woman crazier. Nothing sets her soul on fire with a wild, untamed heat than seeing you with another woman. It doesn't even matter who she is. It could be a coworker. It could be a stranger passing by. A girl in a group who laughs a little too loudly at your joke. The second we notice another female giving you even a glimpse of attention, something primal hits us. Deep, deep down, our stomach flips, our chest burns, and our body reacts before our mind can even catch up. I've felt it. I've been there. Seeing a man I thought was mine, seeing him lean back, smile that easy smile, and let another girl casually touch his arm. My face, it stayed calm, neutral. But inside I was shaking. My blood felt like lava. Angry and yes, wet. Furious that she had his focus, desperate, absolutely desperate, to pull it back to me. To tear his attention away from her and make it mine again. That's the sick part, isn't it? Jealousy doesn't turn us off. It doesn't make us recoil. It makes us crave harder. It ignites a competitive fire. Because now we're in a game. Now we have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're the one you'll choose. That we're the one who deserves your attention. And when you do choose us, when your eyes meet ours, when you subtly pull your attention away from her and back to us, it feels like the sweetest release. Like stealing something forbidden and finally knowing it's truly, utterly ours. We'll deny it. Oh, we'll act like it didn't bother us one bit. We'll roll our eyes and scoff. But the truth, nothing stirs a woman more deeply than the very real threat of being replaced. And if a little jealousy lights us on fire like that, then secret number 9 will show you what happens when we feel like we've actually won. Secret number 9, the thrill of victory. Every woman knows this feeling, even if we'll never admit it out loud, even if we tuck it away deep in our subconscious, where it can't be judged. The rush. The sheer intoxicating high of being chosen. The undeniable thrill of winning. It starts with that storm of jealousy we just talked about. When another woman wants you, when her eyes linger a little too long, when her laugh is a little too sweet, a little too inviting, we feel that competitive fire boiling. We feel the threat. But then you turn back to us. Your hand subtly finds ours. Your eyes, they meet ours with a knowing glance that reminds us exactly who you're leaving with, who you're choosing, and that's when it hits. The victory, the incredible surge of adrenaline, the delicious, undeniable proof that we won. I've felt it in my own body. My chest swelling with an almost primal pride, my breath catching in my throat, my skin buzzing as if I'd just claimed a prize no one else could possibly touch. A silent, internal triumph. That feeling, gentlemen, is absolutely intoxicating. It's deeply, deeply addictive. It makes us want you more. Crave you harder, hold on tighter. Most men, they think comfort keeps us. They think if they make us feel safe and secure, that's enough. But comfort, over time, it can dull us. It can make us complacent. It's the victory that hooks us. It's the thrill of knowing you had options. Other women were vying for your attention. And you still, consciously or unconsciously, chose to come back to us, to make us feel like the winner. We'll never say it. We'll pretend we were calm the entire time, that it was no big deal, that we never even noticed. But inside, that rush leaves us trembling, wanting more. And already, deep down, dreading the next time another woman tries to take what we just claimed. And if victory feels this addictive, then secret number 8 will show you what happens when mystery takes over, and our own imagination does all the heavy lifting for you. Secret number 8, the hunger of mystery. Here's something else most men simply don't realize. And it's incredibly powerful. Our imagination is arguably the most dangerous and most potent part of us. When you don't reveal everything about yourself too quickly, when you keep a piece of yourself, a secret chamber, subtly hidden, when your words leave space for interpretation, instead of exhaustive explanations, our mind doesn't stay quiet. It races, it wanders, it starts to build stories. Deep, intricate narratives that pull us in, far deeper than any facts ever could. I've felt it myself, lying awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, hours after our conversation ended, wondering why he hadn't told me everything. Why he was so calm when I expected answers. Why he felt so incredibly close, yet still so tantalizingly out of reach. My body restless. My thoughts running wild, inventing scenes, crafting possible pasts, imagining futures, each scenario more vivid, more tempting, more arousing than the last. And each one leaving me etching. Mystery, gentlemen, is fuel. It doesn't just feed desire, it ignites it. It keeps us awake, restless, thinking about you, imagining you in ways you'll never have to say out loud. Because what we create in our own minds, what we dream up in the silent hours of the night, it always feels more dangerous, more tempting, more utterly addictive than anything handed to us too easily, too predictably. That's why men who reveal everything too fast, who lay all their cards on the table in the first conversation, they fade quickly. They become forgettable. But the man who leaves us guessing, the man who carries a quiet depth, a subtle unknown, he lingers, he makes us restless, he makes us wet without even touching us. Because he's tapped into the most powerful part of our mind. And if mystery can make us ache like that, secret number 7 will show you the pure torture of restraint. The one that leaves us trembling when you stop, right before we break. Secret number 7, the torture of restraint. This, gentleman, is the one that makes us truly lose our minds. Imagine this. You're giving us just enough to feel it. Your eyes, they're locking with ours, holding for a beat too long. Your hand, it brushes against us, light and electric. Your lips, they might even taste ours, a soft, lingering touch. And then you stop first. You pull back. Before we're ready. Before we've had our fill. Leaving us trembling in silence. I've felt it myself. Leaning in, anticipating, expecting more. And then nothing. Just that sudden, agonizing withdrawal. My breath sharp in my throat. My chest tight. My body restless, an insistent hum beneath my skin. Like it couldn't possibly settle until you came back. Until you finished what you started. That ache doesn't fade. It grows. It spreads. It takes over every fiber of our being. Most men, they rush, they grab. They push too fast, too soon. And it kills the craving. It takes away the delicious build-up. It makes it feel ordinary. But the man who holds back, the man who shows genuine control, who makes us wait until we're practically begging in silence, until our entire body screams for more, that man owns us. Absolutely. Because restraint, gentlemen, it doesn't just create desire. It creates obsession. We'll never admit it. We'll act like we're annoyed. We'll pretend we didn't care that you pulled away. We'll put up a front of cool indifference. But the truth, that denial is torture. The sweetest, the cruelest, the most potent torture imaginable. And it leaves us wet, restless, replaying that moment again and again and again in our minds until the next time. And if restraint can leave us trembling like that, then secret number 6 will show you something even more dangerous. The way a man can undress us without even laying a finger on our body. Secret number 6, the undressing of the mind. Most men think they need their hands to strip a woman down. They think they need to initiate physical touch to make us feel exposed, vulnerable, and aroused. They don't. The most dangerous man, the most powerful man, is the one who makes us feel completely naked, without ever even touching us. He's the one who sees through our carefully constructed words. He cuts through our masks, our defenses, our polite smiles. And he names exactly what we're feeling, what we're truly thinking deep down, even before we've said a single thing. I felt it. Sitting across from him, trying to act strong, pretending I didn't care, convincing myself I was in control. And then hearing him say softly, calmly, but with an uncanny precision, "You feel cornered right now, don't you?" Or, "You're pretending you're fine, but I can feel your guard up." My stomach dropped. My chest opened, wide and raw. My whole body melted, because in that moment he saw me. He really saw me. That kind of exposure, gentlemen, is intoxicating. It's profoundly unsettling. It makes us weak in a way that physical touch rarely does. It makes us lean in, because we're simply not used to men who notice more than our curves, more than our surface. The man who undresses our mind, who sees our deepest vulnerabilities and insecurities, our hidden thoughts and fears, he owns more of us than the man who only reaches for our body. We'll deny it. We'll roll our eyes. We'll pretend it didn't hit us where it hurts. But deep down, that kind of emotional nakedness, that deep resonant knowing is the most arousing of all, because it feels like surrender. It feels like we've given ourselves over, without us even consciously choosing it. And if being seen, truly seen, can make us fall apart like that, then secret number 5 will show you the drug we simply cannot resist. The one that keeps us chasing a man long after he's physically gone. Secret number 5, the drug of scarce attention. Gentlemen, let's be blunt. Attention is cheap these days. Most men throw it everywhere. They flood us with words, with likes, with constant messages, compliments, check-ins. And after a while it all just blurs into noise. It loses its impact, it becomes meaningless. But the man who makes his attention rare, that man, quite simply, becomes addictive. I've felt it myself, waiting days for his reply, watching my phone like a hawk, finally seeing his name light up my screen. And in that instant my chest would tighten, my stomach would flip, my breath would catch, like I'd just been given something incredibly precious, something rare and utterly valuable. That single moment, that single text, that single bit of focused attention, it hit harder than 100 texts from anyone else. It resonated deeper. It stuck longer. Why? Because scarcity creates value. And when your attention is scarce, it doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel like a given. It feels earned. It feels like a prize we have to work for. A reward. And the less you give it, the more we crave it. The more our minds start to spin, wondering when the next drop will come. We'll act like we don't notice. We'll pretend we're unbothered, independent, too busy to care. But inside we're restless. We're checking. We're waiting. We're hungry for that next precious dose. Because your attention, in its scarcity, has turned into our drug. And we are chasing the next hit. And if scarce attention can hook us like that, then secret number 4 will show you the raw, primal panic that takes over when we realize we might lose you to someone else entirely. Secret number 4, the panic of replacement. Here's a truth, gentlemen, a dark primal fear that we will never say out loud. Not to you. Not to our girlfriends. Sometimes. Not even to ourselves. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a woman spiral faster than realizing she could be replaced. It doesn't even have to happen. Just the possibility. Just the subtle implication. The way another girl looks at you. The way you carry yourself like you don't need us to complete you. The way your silence, sometimes, feels like distance. Suddenly, our mind starts writing stories. Ugly stories. Stories where someone else has what we thought was ours. Stories where another woman steps into your life and takes our place. I've felt it. That sickening, gut-wrenching drop in my stomach. That frantic racing in my chest. That restless pacing when I knew deep down that you could move on and never look back. My face stayed calm, composed. But inside I was in full, unadulterated panic. Because if another woman takes that place I lose, we lose. And that is an unbearable thought. That's the cruel truth, gentlemen. The fear of being replaced doesn't push us away. It makes us cling harder. It makes us watch you closer. It makes us compete. It makes us dress sharper. Act sweeter. Do whatever it takes to remind you and ourselves that we're still the one. That we're still the best choice. We'll never admit it. We'll act proud, aloof, independent. We'll put up a brave face. But deep down, that panic is real. And it drives us to hold on tighter than love or simple affection ever could. And if the fear of being replaced can make us unravel like that, then secret number 3 is even darker. Because that's the one we're most ashamed of. The one that rips away all our control and leaves us trembling. Secret number 3, the shaken obsession. This, gentlemen, is the one we hate the most. The one we feel most guilty for. The one that makes us furious and incredibly wet all at the same time. It's when we throw the storm at you. You know the storm, the silence, the attitude, the push, the pull, the chaos, the drama. Everything we use to try and knock you off balance, to try and test your resolve, to try and claw our way into your emotions, to get a reaction. And then nothing happens. You don't flinch, you don't fold, you don't chase, you don't plead. You simply hold your ground. I've felt it. I remember raising my voice, testing his patience, trying to dig under his skin, trying to create a reaction, only to see him sit there, calm, steady, unshaken. Like a rock in a tempest, my chest was tight with rage. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something. But at the same exact time, my body was on fire. Because in that moment, he wasn't mine. I was his. He owned me, not the other way around. That's the twisted truth, gentlemen. When a man holds his frame, his inner core, his composure, while we try, desperately, to break it, we crumble. We hate it. We fight it tooth and nail. But deep down, it pulls us closer. It creates a powerful, undeniable magnet. Because nothing is more addictive than a man we simply cannot move. A man whose center is unshakable. We'll deny it. We'll scream. We'll sulk. We'll run away. We'll pretend it didn't matter. But inside, we're trembling. We're obsessed. We're desperate to feel that control, that solid rock of masculinity again. Even if it means starting the storm all over, just to feel him hold his ground. And if being shaken and not breaking you leaves us weak like that, then secret number 2 will show you the rarest thing of all. The man whose very presence makes us imagine surrender, without him lifting a single finger. Secret number 2, the untouchable aura. Some men, bless their hearts, they try too hard to impress. They perform. They talk too much, they reach. They beg for attention with their words, their gestures, their desperate need for validation. But the man who doesn't need to do any of that, the one who walks into a room and simply owns it, without saying much at all, that's the one who undoes us completely. I've felt it. Sitting across from him, his eyes steady, his voice calm, deep and measured. His presence, it was heavy, like gravity itself. He didn't rush. He didn't bend. He didn't even try to impress anyone. He just was. And still, my body leaned closer. Without my permission, my gaze kept returning to him. My mind, it started to wander. That, gentleman, is the untouchable aura. The energy of a man who knows his worth so deeply, so profoundly, that he doesn't need to prove it to a single soul. He doesn't need to perform for anyone's approval. He simply is. It's rare, it's magnetic. It makes us imagine giving in, surrendering, before you've even asked for anything. Before you've even made a move. Just that quiet, undeniable power. We'll never admit it. We'll act like we're completely unaffected. We'll maintain our composure. But inside, that stillness, that powerful, quiet confidence, it shakes us more than any loud performance ever could. Because it feels like dominance without a touch. Power without a single word. And if presence alone can leave us trembling like that, then secret number 1 will show you the darkest truth of all. The forbidden denial that makes women crawl back to the man who walked away. All right, gentlemen, we've journeyed through many hidden truths today. We've explored the H of being ignored, the fire of jealousy, the hunger of mystery, and the trembling surrender to an untouchable aura. But now, we arrive at the final, darkest confession, the one we teased you with at the very beginning, the one that, once understood, will fundamentally shift your power in any interaction. This is secret number 1, the forbidden denial. This, gentlemen, is the one we will never say out loud, the one that haunts us, the one that makes us crawl back, even when every fiber of our being, every ounce of our pride, swore we were absolutely unequivocally done. It's denial. Your denial. It's when you refuse to bend. When you don't chase after our attitude, our silent treatment, our tests. When you walk away instead of begging. When you prioritize your self-respect and your boundaries over our immediate whims or emotional manipulations. I've felt it. Oh, I've felt it with a force that shook me to my core. Watching him stand up calm, steady, unflinching, while I deep down waited for him to fold. Waited for him to come back, to apologize, to chase. But he didn't. He simply left. And as much as I hated it in that moment, as much as I wanted to scream, to lash out, to make him hurt, my body betrayed me. A deep, insidious ache started in my core. Because in that precise moment, when he denied me his attention, his pursuit, his desperate need, I wanted him more than ever before. That's the forbidden truth, gentlemen. Rejection, when delivered by you to us in this way, doesn't kill desire. It multiplies it. It fans the flames into an inferno. Denial from a man who knows his worth, becomes the ultimate foreplay. The man who can look at us, assess the situation, decide we're not worth breaking his standards for, and then walk away with quiet, dignified self-respect. That man owns us. He owns our thoughts. He owns our fantasies. He owns our desire. Long after he's physically gone from our sight, we'll pretend it didn't matter. We'll act like we've moved on. Like we're completely unfazed. We'll even tell our friends how glad we are to be rid of you. But inside we're restless. We're guilty. We're wet. Replaying that moment you wouldn't bend. That moment you chose yourself over our control. And once a woman feels that once she experiences that profound, unsettling power of your denial, she can never unfeel it. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, makes us want more than the man who proved he doesn't need us. He chooses us, but he doesn't need us. And that, gentlemen, is the ultimate secret. All right, gentlemen. Now you know the truth. The raw, unfiltered truth. The things that make women ache, that make us restless, that make us crave, that make us wet, they're not the flowers, the empty promises, or the safe, sweet words you've been taught to deliver. They're the darker triggers, the forbidden ones, the ones we hide, the ones we deny, and the ones we feel utterly guilty for even craving. Because I'm a woman, and I've felt them all. I felt the silence that made me restless, my mind spinning into obsession. I've felt the jealousy that made me burn with a primal need to win. I've felt the mystery that left me lying awake all night, imagining you in ways you'd never have to say. I've felt the restraint that left me trembling, desperate for more. I've felt the calm presence that shook me to my core, more than any loud gesture ever could. And yes, I've felt the denial, the forbidden denial that made me crawl back to the man who walked away, even when every fiber of my being screamed at me not to. That's what men don't understand. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding the deep, primal currents of desire, masculine energy, true masculine energy. It doesn't chase. It doesn't beg. It doesn't fold. It attracts. It tests. It denies. And in that denial, it makes women wet, guilty, and utterly obsessed long after you're gone. If she leaves, she'll regret it. She'll imagine you with someone else. She'll replay the man who didn't bend for her, who held his frame, who knew his worth. And no one else will ever quite measure up. I'll confess more tomorrow. Another forbidden truth you'll never hear from her lips, but one you absolutely need to know to understand us. So, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Stoic Manhood Guide for more of these raw truths. And tell me in the comments below, where are you watching from? I want to see how far this message reaches. Because female desire, it truly speaks the same language, no matter where you live. And whatever you do, don't miss the next one. Trust me, you won't want to.